Did you know that a low appraisal can kill a home sale faster than a bad paint job in the kitchen? In fact, about 1 in every 10 deals hits a major roadblock because of appraisal issues. So if you're selling, buying, or just curious about how this part of real estate works, this video is for you. Hi, I'm Erica McClain, your local real estate expert, northwest side of Chicago and nearby suburbs. Today, we're breaking down how home appraisals really work. This is the behind the scenes stuff that can make or break your sale, literally. Let's start with the misconceptions. A lot of sellers think the appraiser is just someone who walks in, takes a quick peek around, and slaps a number on your house based on how nice your throw pillows are. On the flip side, buyers sometimes believe the appraisal is there to protect them like a superhero in khakis and a clipboard. Neither is totally true. Here's the deal. Appraisals aren't about opinion. They're about evidence. They're not there to side with you. They're there to protect the lender's investment. And no, you can't charm your way to a higher number by offering snacks, though if snacks help, I'd be handing out cookies at every showing. So, what actually goes into an appraisal? Here's a simplified breakdown. Step one, the appraiser visits the property. They'll look at square footage, layout, condition, and any recent updates. They're not judging your taste in wallpaper, but if your roof is 30 years old, that's going in the report. Step two, market analysis. This is where the magic happens. Appraisers pull comparable sales, called comps, within the last 3 to 6 months, usually within a 1 mile radius, but it has to also be in the same area or town. Step three, adjustments. No two homes are identical, so they do make adjustments for things like extra bedrooms, a finished basement, or even proximity to parks or schools. Step four, the final report. This is the official number. Lenders use this to determine if they'll approve the loan based on the agreed purchase price. Let me tell you a real story. Names changed, of course. A couple I worked with, let's call them Mark and Sandra, listed their home in Elmwood Park. Beautiful home, priced right at market value. We had multiple offers and ended up under contract for $15,000 over asking. Great, right? Then the appraisal came in, $20,000 under the contract price. Cue the panic. The buyers didn't want to cover the gap and the deal almost fell apart. But here's what saved it. We challenged the appraisal. I pulled fresh comps that hadn't closed yet when the appraiser ran their report. We got a reconsideration, and guess what? The appraised value was adjusted up by $12,000. Not the full amount, but enough for both sides to compromise and close the deal. Moral of the story? Knowledge equals power, especially in this market. I will tell you though, it's not that easy to get an appraiser to reconsider the value. Another quick story. I had a property in Dunning. We sold it for whatever the price was. The appraisal came back way low. When I took a look at the appraisal, they were missing a fireplace, a bathroom, a bedroom. There were several things missing. So I pointed that out to the mortgage broker. I was representing the seller. And she said, you know what? It's going to take forever to fight the appraisal. She goes, we're going to need a little more time. I'm going to just switch lenders, which she did. She switched lenders and everything appraised out. But the seller told me the day that the appraiser came there, he was in a big hurry and all he was talking about was getting to his kid's Little League game. So his mistakes We still sold for what the contract price was, but they had to switch lenders completely to get a brand new appraisal. And if somebody is doing an FHA appraisal, that appraisal sticks with the property for 6 months. So if you put it back on the market and the next buyer comes along and they're FHA, they won't be able to do anything. You would only be able to sell to a conventional buyer until after that 6 month period. That happened to me on a 3 flat in Elmwood Park. We knew the appraiser didn't have all the facts in the report. He didn't take into consideration the size of the lot. It was a corner lot, a brick garage. So we canceled that deal. We went back on the market, and it did take us like 6 months because we knew all the offers that were coming in were FHA. After that 6 month time period was up, guess what? We sold it for what we thought it was worth for. And that appraiser didn't seem to have a problem, even though the first appraiser, we sent all kinds of comps. They refused to change anything. So, what's the most critical factor in an appraisal? Comparable sales data. Yep, not your brand new quartz countertops, not your open concept kitchen, not even your professionally staged living room. If the house down the block with the same layout sold for 400,000, you're going to have a hard time convincing the appraiser your house is worth 450,000 unless you have something substantially better. Now, trends also matter. If values are rising fast, appraisers might have to explain that and use the highest allowable comps. If the market is cooling, even more caution is used. And remember, appraisers work under strict regulations. They're not just making numbers up. If you're selling, here's how you can prep for a solid appraisal. Make a list of upgrades and improvements with dates and costs. Clean it up. It helps the appraiser see condition clearly. Provide your own comps if your agent has them. Be realistic. A unicorn price leads to disappointment and sometimes a canceled contract. And yes, your agent, me, can meet the appraiser and provide context they may not find on paper. So, to wrap it up, appraisals are rooted in data, not drama. They can kill a deal or keep it alive, and knowing how they work can save you thousands of dollars and your sanity. Now it's your turn. Drop a comment and tell me, have you ever had an appraisal surprise you? Was it too high, too low, just right, like Goldilocks? And hey, if you found this helpful, make sure to check out my other videos on selling smart, staging right, and negotiating like a pro. Subscribe for more straight talk and maybe a few jokes about real estate. And when you're ready to sell, give me a call. I'll bring the comps and the cookies. Thanks for watching and hope you'll be back for another video.